Getting the switch onto Sam Hauser. Curry reads this stunt by Brogden on the strong side, going double behind the back even after Dante clears out all this traffic, and Brogden coming over to trap force Steph to give it up, right? It's actually just another hard stunt from Malcolm, which Curry is already aware of, and he goes heavy. Dribble hard cross back between the legs right and step back bomb from about the logo, looking away while it falls through the shooting range and balance off the dribble from prime Steph is different, all without Wiggins. The Dubs defense locked up their old pals in the Boston Celtics. They held the team with the best offensive rating of all time to an individual season worst 107 points, despite a late 11-2 run from the Celtics, who for the most part, had one of those nights. After Steve Kerr called his second timeout down the stretch, the Warriors finally threw a counterpunch. Kuminga postered Tatum cool stuff Jaylen Brown as Jordan and Jonathan displayed. Speaker 1. Edit Speaker. The future is bright. Meanwhile, the Splash Brothers made an insane 26 field goals as Klay Thompson posted a game-high 34, and Steph closed the game out with daggers. When Boston made it close, Moses Moody replaced Anthony Lamb as the second-string combo forward, giving Steve Kerr a solid 12 minutes. The front court was also solid, as Kevin Looney racked up 15 rebounds, while Draymond had 11 points, 4 boards, and 2 dimes plus a block. Albeit in the midst of a rough season, the Golden State Warriors just reminded us who they are right before breaking down that just 10.9% of you watching are subscribed, so if a higher chunk of you were, that'd be helpful. Leave a like for the YouTube algorithm and please follow @FlowHoops on Instagram and Twitter by clicking the links down below in the description. Thanks so much for the support. Back to the content. We'll get to the feel-good W against the powerhouse Celtics, but what made the victory so much needed for Golden State, in my opinion? Speaker 1. Edit Speaker. At least, is the fact that this season has been anything but smooth sailing. This team's 2-11 on the road, and in many ways it's been a rocky start to the year for the reigning champs, to say the very least. While the Dubs are 12-2 at home, the struggles away from the Chase Center are far from behind this Warrior team, and it won't get any easier when they face a Bucks team on Tuesday that just got Chris Middleton healthy despite the turbulence entering what's going to be a 6-game road trip. The Dubs currently sit at number 8 in the West, and the number 1 seed is still 4.5 games within striking distance. Against Boston. The Celtics were missing a big part of their early success in Al Horford and also a player who's been out for the entire season in the Time Lord Robert Williams. However, canceling that out is the fact that Golden State was missing their second option, Andrew Wiggins, yet still played exceptional defense and blew out the Celtics by Speaker 1. Edit Speaker. Nearly 20. Jason Tatum admitted post-game that he needed to be better, but it just seems like the Warriors are a bad matchup for JT Styles. Make fights in the NBA like in any sport, and the Warriors match up well to stop the Celtics' game plan and personnel. That's what we saw last spring when the Warriors won 3 straight and went on a 210 run in Game 6 of the Finals. And it's what we saw on Saturday night. The Celtics have the best roster in the NBA and exceptional top-heavy talent with Tatum and Brown. But when it comes down to the matchup of Boston versus Golden State, specifically, the Warrior is having some guy named Stephen Curry, a second Splash Brother following 2 major leg surgeries in Klay Thompson, who can at times match Steph's shooting prowess, and a deep roster consisting of an all-time great defender in Draymond Green gives them a big 3. That's built to stop teams like Boston who try to outscore you, which has become the Celtics' approach without the best defensive center. Speaker 1. Edit Speaker. In basketball, Rob will, based off the lack of attention Klay receives. If you're a non-Warrior fan, you wouldn't be aware of it. But this man's quietly coming off his 820-plus point outing of the year, 4th 25-plus point night and second 30-plus point game after a game high 34-piece against the team with the best record in the association, going from Klay to his typical backup in Jordan Poole, who started against Boston. And Poole had a rough shooting night, going 1 for 9 from deep and shooting 5 for 16 from the field. Still, I like the fact that Jordan ended the night with 20 points, 4 dimes, and a block. To be fair, he was a -1 against the Celtics, but evidently the game's starting to slow down for Jordan. Keep in mind, he's adjusting to how defenses are guarding him this year. It's different than ever before. In a recent interview with The Athletic, Jordan said how people are guarding Steph in the first unit is how they're guarding me in the second unit. When we're not. Speaker 1. Edit Speaker. On the court together, I get the same coverage as he gets, end quote. Getting used to being guarded like a number 1 option takes its fair share of time for a player, but the target on Poole's back is nothing new for him. In 2019, a CBS reporter called the product of Michigan, who was selected down at pick number 28, the worst pick in the entire draft. I wonder what the guy who said that is doing nowadays. Whereas JP is getting a fat bag and is coming off a championship series where he posted 79 points over 6 games on a 44-39-91 shooting split off the bench in terms of 22-23. Jordan's numbers as a starter this year are incredible. As in those games, he's posted 20, 36-23-2, 12-63-62, and 30 points, respectively, going from the Michigan product in Poole to the Michigan State product in Draymond Green. And the advanced stats prove that Golden State's enforcer is playing his heart out in a contract year. Dre's played 97 minutes in lineups without Steph this season and posted a 99.5 defensive. Speaker 1. Edit Speaker. Rating, which would rank number 1 among all teams. And he's also posted a plus 7.7 net rating in those minutes, which would be second best behind Boston. Back to the franchise player, though, and in addition to the look-away triple like the one broken down to start this video, Steph hit another 5 threes. Aside from that one, which came from 25+ feet away from the basket, 4 of which came off the dribble, pretty insane. The underrated defense from Wardell was also on full display on this possession. He desperately shuffles over to cut off Brogden's attack. After Malcolm kicks it out, Steph completely stops Jaylen Brown's drive, then he smartly rotates to Luke Kornet to stop any potential entry pass. Just fluid defensive chops. Last year, Curry was number 4 in defensive rating among point guards, directly behind Marcus Smart. This year, Steph ranks just number 11, but he's directly ahead of Marcus Smart. He remains criminally underrated on defense. You can't forget about Jonathan. Speaker 1. Edit Speaker. Kuminga's contributions to the W against Boston. Kuminga played 0 minutes in the finals, but has recently been showing he's ready to contribute as a regular rotation guy. In 21 minutes against Boston, Jonathan posted 14 points, 5 boards, and 3 dimes. Curry spoke on JK post-game saying he belonged out there tonight. You could really feel that, end quote. Draymond said post-game that he's not concerned about anyone in the West. And while that may be a bit of a stretch considering how the Pelicans are playing, and I also think Golden State's second-round matchup from last year in the Grizzlies could be a problem based off Green being a 4-time and reigning champ, we can't really doubt the man.